Hello, welcome to the Liberated Multitasker. Today I'm going to cook chicken egg roll in a bowl. It is so good. Come join me. We're going to start off by putting a little bit of olive oil in our pan. Probably about 2 tablespoons. Now I did get this recipe from online, so I will be linking it in the description notes below. I'm going to add about 2 cloves of minced garlic. I'm judging that to be about 2 tablespoons. And we're going to saute this together before we add our next ingredients. Now I have deviated from the recipe. I did not have shallots. I did not want to use onions because they're higher in carbs, and so I decided to use onion powder instead. Instead of 2 cups of cabbage, I'm using 4. And instead of 2 cups of chicken, I'm using 3. If I had it to do over again, I probably would add more carrots. Now it called for cauliflower, but I don't have any, but I did have riced cauliflower in my freezer. So I'm going to add that in now and let that saute with the garlic. Cauliflower doesn't have a lot of flavor unless you give it flavor through seasonings and with your other ingredients. So I'm just going to let that saute together, probably for about 4 to 5 minutes. Now it was frozen, so I'm still breaking up some of those chunks. And because it doesn't have a lot of flavor, I'm going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper. You know, it's called chicken egg roll in a bowl, but to me, it's like a stir fry, but just with different vegetables. Now, I'm going to add 4 cups of chopped cabbage. This is the last cabbage I harvested from my garden, and I still have a lot of it left. I did not even use 1/4 of the cabbage. This is 2/3 cup of grated carrots. I grated about 2 carrots, and I'm just going to stir this in and let this cook for a minute. Now the recipe calls for chopped chicken, but mine's already cooked, so I'm going to add it later. Now at this point in time, I'm going to add another tablespoon of minced garlic. Now it's time to add some of our seasonings. I'm adding some onion powder, some turmeric, and some crushed red pepper flakes. And if I didn't mention it before, the carrots came from my garden as well. Now we're just going to stir this all together well and let it continue to saute. Now I mentioned carrots earlier. I love homegrown carrots, but the ones that I plant in the fall are so much better. They get sweeter after that frost, and they just taste so much better. I'm not canning my carrots. I'm just pulling them from the garden as I need them, with dishes like this or with salads, or sometimes just to eat them raw. Now this is looking about right. So it's time to add our chicken. I'm adding 3 cups of chopped, cooked chicken. Y'all know I love having cooked chicken in my freezer. And a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to stir that in really well and make sure everything's good and mixed. Now I've decided to add something else. I'm going to add some freeze-dried ginger. I'm just going to put a little in my hand and then add it to the pot. I'm going to say I'm adding about 1/2 tablespoon. Now at this point, I'm adding olive oil. If I had it to do over again, I'd probably add a little chicken broth. Since my chicken's already cooked, it's not creating any broth on its own. Now it's just about time to add our lid, and we're going to let it continue to cook on low for about 4 to 5 minutes. Now I'm going to come back occasionally and stir it. I will give it a taste test. We end up adding a little more salt and pepper and a little more soy sauce. Now this meal comes together in about 20 minutes with chopping the vegetables, and I already have the cooked chicken, so all I had to do is chop some of it, add everything together, let it saute and simmer and cook, and you have a quick meal. Healthy, low carb, lots of vegetables, good protein. And you can cater this how you want. You could add onions or more or less meat or more or less vegetables. But it really is a quick and easy, delicious dish. And if you're trying to go low carb, this is the one you want to try. Now my last couple of videos have been about seed starting and raised beds and raspberries. I've had quite a few homestead videos in the last couple of weeks. I'm really glad to be back in the kitchen. But we had a great, pretty week in February, and it was time to do some of those maintenance things. So I try to bring you along with what I do, and so I had a busy week of those types of things. So we are back in the kitchen. We've given this a taste test, decided to add more salt and pepper, and we add a little more soy sauce as well. I'm adding some more olive oil at this point in time. Like I said, I would have rather added chicken broth. This was very delicious, and I definitely will cook it again. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I really hope to see you soon.